Welcome to J Ride Flips. My name is Jake Ryder. I'm a full-time eBay reseller out of the state of Utah. Today we're going to be talking about how to flip remotes on the internet, mainly eBay, but these also apply to Amazon, Mercari, Facebook, Poshmark, all that good stuff. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into 10 go-to brands to be looking for when you're out at thrift stores, garage sales, or however you do your sourcing. We're just going to jump right into it. The first one is Yamaha. These are in no particular order. Yamaha is always great for their receivers, is what I typically find the remotes for. You're gonna just, everyone knows what Yamaha looks like. They like to use teal and orange buttons so they kind of stick out. But obviously they just have standard black remotes with white and gray buttons as well. But yeah, Yamaha, this remote will sell for about $23 plus $5 shipping. Next up, this is a really awesome one to be looking for. It's called URC, Universal Remote Control. They always start with little like MX 890 is this model. And then you just kind of got to find a feel of the remote control itself. Sometimes they have URC printed at the top here. Really anything with a screen in general on remotes, you're good to go. This actually sells for about $100. It's a universal program. You can program all of everything on your TV, your receivers, your game consoles, your fans, everything, even your AC units, you can program onto these and have master control in your whole home. So yeah, that's definitely a good one to look for. Next is Onkyo. Onkyo is a really good remote control to find. These sell, just like all remotes can sell for as low as $5 on up, but these remotes typically sell for a minimum of $20. A lot of them are in the $25, $30, $40, $50 range. Next up, another very recognizable brand, Pioneer. Pioneer, always worth it to look up. You're gonna find a few of them that aren't worth as much, but always just look up the model number. eBay solds will tell you whether it's worth it or not. Next up, we have Denon. Denon is also always a great one to pick up, very similar to Onkyo. The remotes are just very hard to come by and specialized, so they always go for a premium. Even this tiny, small one is still gonna sell for about 15 bucks, which is on the lower end of what I like to sell remotes for, but that's still a great profit. Kenwood, same as Denon, Pioneer, Onkyo, Yamaha. I put Yamaha and Kenwood kind of in the same tier. Not as good as Onkyo, but better than most remotes. One of my favorite ones is Logitech. You're always going to be wanting to be looking out for the Logitech Harmony series. It's a universal remote like the URC one. Like I said earlier, use any remote with a screen is always worth looking up and seeing what it goes for. This is going to sell for 50 bucks plus shipping. You can find a lot of ones that are worth 40 on up. And these come with cradles. I don't have the cradle for this one, and it's still gonna sell for $50. Next up, Sony. Now, Sony is definitely one that you're gonna wanna look up the item number, the model number every single time until you get really familiar with it. And I still look up model numbers, especially on Sony, all the time. Sony, they have remotes worth 25 cents in the resale market, all the way up to obviously hundreds of dollars. I just sold a remote for a very obscure DVD recorder. I sold it for $90 plus shipping, and it actually went international, so they ended up paying like $174 just for that one remote. Pretty nuts. But yeah, a lot of them are only gonna go for 5 bucks, so don't just blind buy Sony, but a lot of them are gonna go, for 40, 50, 60, sometimes just 25, 15. So pick up Sony, always be on the lookout for them. Next up, one of my favorites, should be on your radar for sure, Bose. Bose anything, but sometimes I leave the units behind and just walk away with the remote. A remote like this one's even chewed up by a dog. You can see that it doesn't, it's got some teeth marks and stuff. Still a $30 remote. People will pay for Bose every time. And then lastly on this top 10 list, this is Dish. Direct TV remotes, not worth it. But Dish, Dish is always pretty good. Anything 20.1 or higher. 40.0 is really awesome. The Joey ones like 52.0, 54.0. Dish is a really good remote. If you can get it for $2 or under, almost all Dish remotes are worth it. But now if you can see here, this remote hasn't been cleaned yet. See how it's pretty cruddy in there? So that leads us to our next part of the video, which is how to clean these remotes. It's pretty simple, but there are a couple tips and tricks that'll help you. So I'll get right into that. All right, guys, the next step is cleaning the remotes. All you're gonna need is this all-purpose cleaner. I get this from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. It's really awesome, it works very great. Toothbrush and just a cleaning rag. So you're just gonna wanna, get her nice and doused. And like we just saw, there was a bunch of crud in this. So this is where the toothbrush comes in, just like you're brushing your teeth. You're just gonna make small circles all the way up and down the remote. And then this one's pretty dirty. So you're gonna go ahead and just do side to side, kind of just like you're brushing your teeth. Just really get in there. I picked a perfect remote to do a tutorial on because, wow, this one's actually pretty dirty. Then you're just gonna go ahead and take this. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the back side in a minute. But if you're gonna go immediately into listing, you got some aerosol spray here. That's just gonna get all the dirt and the cleaner that's sitting on top of the remote. Just get it out of there for you. And voila, now the back, you're gonna make sure, if you got this from a thrift store, you're probably gonna have stickers. I took the sticker off. There's still gonna be some residue there. So you gotta hit the back as well. That residue comes right off. Boom, you're good to go. Now you're gonna make sure that there's no battery corrosion. You're gonna pop the back off of this. Okay, on this one, we're good to go. There's no battery corrosion, but if there was, what I would do, this is white vinegar. Just spritz some vinegar in there. You're gonna see it start bubbling up. Again, take your toothbrush, really get it clean. And you're just gonna wipe it off and they will be good to test. I mean, you should probably do your testing beforehand just so you're not wasting your time on this. But next up is testing. I'll show you how I test the remotes. Hey guys, once you have checked for corrosion and you have placed your batteries in the remote, it's very simple to test. All you're gonna do is take your smartphone. I'm currently recording on my iPhone, so we're just gonna pretend that this is a smartphone. You're gonna set it to your camera, then to selfie mode. Then you're gonna point the remote at the camera. You're gonna push a button, and then you should see a little light turn on, which looks like this. It's very hard to see because of the lighting. There we go, but when I get closer, boom, you see that light flickering? That means your remote works. Now, there are a few cases, especially the older the remote, you're gonna have a few more problems like this. But if you have the unit that the remote goes to, you're gonna wanna use all of the buttons to make sure that each function works. Every once in a while, there's one or two buttons that misfire that don't work properly. But I sell thousands of remotes every year. My return rate is below 0.5%. And of those 0.5% that get returned, it's very minimal that they are not working as described or defective. So what I do is I just test remotes. I just do the quick, see if buttons work with the light, and then you're good to go. And like I said, you can sell thousands of them a year. Less than 5 are gonna get returned. So yeah. Okay, once you've cleaned your remote, you've tested to make sure that it's working, the next thing that you're gonna do is obviously list it. What I do when I list remotes, I have already listed thousands of them. So I sell similar off of my own listings. And then I just change up the keywords, the brand, things like that. But I've sold so many remotes and I'm only looking for a certain profit margin that almost every single remote I list, I've already listed it, so I can just copy my exact listing and go with the process. So Like I've said, I've sold thousands of remotes. I'm gonna continue to sell thousands of remotes, and I'm a numbers guy, so I run a lot of split tests and things like that. I've called eBay about this. I watch YouTube videos from eBay and from other eBay sellers on the matter. What I've come to the conclusion is that it's actually a hybrid of what eBay says and what actually happens. So this is a topic for another video, but when listing in general, you're gonna wanna list your item how your customer is gonna search for it. The way that people search for remotes typically is they're gonna type in the brand followed by remote control. Sometimes they're gonna type in brand, device that the remote control is for, remote control. Sometimes they're gonna type in brand, remote control, model number, because their current remote stopped working. They're just gonna replace it. Or if they lost it, they Google what remote works for this, they see that number, and then they type it into eBay. So what I have learned is that I put brand, what it is, remote control, model number, the little numbers on the bottom, what it's for, and then some keywords such as the color. I've never put into the condition the length or the size of the remote, but yeah. So if I had this remote, you can see it here, it's a Pioneer. Lighting isn't the best right next to there. Okay, it's a Pioneer DVD remote. Sorry, not the best video quality here on the filming, but this is a Pioneer VXX315. So the way I would list this, I would do Pioneer remote control VXX315 DVD player black. And that's it. That sounds a little robotic, but it's just how people search. It's how eBay has told us they want it listed, and it has resulted in a ton of sales for me. So that is how I would list all of your remotes. All right, now that you guys have your remotes listed, you're gonna start getting some sales. I just had a Bose remote sell, one of those top 10 brands that I was talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this, and then I'm gonna ship it out for you guys. I'm gonna show you exactly my process on how to do that as well. Okay, so the way that I have them put into my inventory system, they're already in this little bag here. I'm gonna go ahead and take two 12 by 12 inch pieces of bubble wrap. Just gonna roll it up nice and tight like that. No need for any tape because we're just gonna shove it right into this poly mailer. This one I think is 11.5 by 9. So it's gonna go in there nice and tight. Then you're just gonna go ahead, roll the poly mailer, rip this off. Well, sealed up nice and tight. Now everyone uses a different service. A lot of people just use eBay. I go ahead and I use what's called Pirate Ship. So I've got the remote right here. I already have it set up to do remote controls. Get that right. It's gonna go ahead and it's going to make a label for me. Buy the label. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just print that off on my Rollo printer here. And you're just gonna slap it onto the remote and you're good to go. All right guys, back here in my garage, that's a quick tutorial on how to flip remotes on e-commerce, especially eBay, where I sell 100% of my remotes. But like I said earlier in the video, you can do this on all different platforms, whatever one you are accustomed to. Just a couple of last things in closing here. I like to focus on buying remote controls for under $3. At thrift stores, you know, the prices have gone up on remotes a little bit, so you're gonna spend $2 or $3 at most local retail thrift stores. But at garage sales, you can find them for 50 cents, 25 cents, even 10 cents sometimes. So definitely always add that to your Rolodex when you're at garage sales. Just pick up remotes. I don't like to list anything for less than $15 plus $5 shipping. You can do less than that. It just really turns into a grind. I know there's guys that, you know, buy thousands of remote controls and they flip them for $4, end up making 30 cents per remote. That's fine. You know, you can run your business however you'd like to, but there are thousands of remotes that can make you $20, $25, $30, $35 each time you sell them. So those are the ones that I focus on. I also try to make sure that all the remotes that I buy have the backs. The one that I actually just showed you guys in this video doesn't have a back, but it is Bose, so that's why it's still sold for $27. But yeah, try to make sure that they have the backs. Look out for corrosion. Remember how we used white vinegar to take care of those. But yeah, remotes, there's a ton of money in these very inexpensive things to pick up at garage sales and thrift stores. I wish you guys good luck in flipping them. This was J-Ride. If you guys liked the video and you've made it to this point, I'd really appreciate a subscribe, a like, comment, you know how the YouTube algorithm goes. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Bye.